thank you so much for agreeing to do this, because obviously these sorts of kind of testimonials are great for prospective customers that are thinking about using us and not sure, whether to use us or not. But importantly, the team love watching these here because,
imagine.
because we're online based, we don't get that sort of face-to-face interaction that kind of, you would get if we were sort of a more local company. And so for them to see what and to watch what people think kind of gives everyone a bit of a boost.
Yeah, definitely.
And and it makes people realize all of this stuff matters.
Yeah.
So it really does matter. But to sort of kick us off, why did you consider using us? How did you come across us?
So I actually got a letter through from you guys, basically kind of advertising your services. And we had the house on the market with two previous estate agents. The first estate agent basically gave us a ridiculous, it sounded odd at the time, but it was a ridiculous valuation. So the property went on for, I think it was like 435 or something like that. And we had a couple of other budget valuations, and they kind of were saying around the 400 mark, 420, that kind of thing. So we thought, okay, fine. Realised it was too low. So we changed estate agents to another local estate agent. We had some viewings, but nothing really was kind of happening, and everything kind of just went a bit stale. And we had your letter through, and I thought, okay, well, it's worth a shot, because you guys said that, you could get us the price that we wanted. And I just thought, do you know what, like, we may as well try a non-traditional method and see if it works. So that's kind of how it came about.
Fantastic. And I guess when you were sort of considering us, do you have any reservations? Why us rather than other companies?
Yes. So because obviously the house was on the market, we got so many letters through from people saying, oh, we'll promise you this, that, and the other. And I did a lot of research. So I looked at your website and your reviews, and I was reading the reviews like on Trustpilot, and I was thinking, they're all so good. Like, it almost feels like too good to be true sort of thing. So yeah, I was very much like like all of these reviews are saying how quickly they managed to get their house sold, and how good everything was. So I thought, I literally was like, surely they can't be this well reviewed. Do you know what I mean? So that was weirdly like my only sort of reservation. I had no issues with doing things like the viewings on my own. Like, my mum's an estate agent. I'm quite a talkative person. Like, I know the house, and it was, I didn't have any sort of reservations about doing that. It was more like, oh my God, like, is this actually like too good to be true? They're actually going to get us what it is that we want. So but obviously you guys did, which is lovely.
It's funny you say that, because we do sometimes, like, the guys on the phone do sometimes get that as an objection, that there's sort of reservations over, are these reviews genuine? And that was actually a big reason why we wanted to do these video testimonials, to kind of like go, look guys, like, we really care about reputation. Everything online is all genuine. Trustpilot, Google, they are wised up to people that do try and tamper with it. So it is all genuine, and hopefully these sorts of videos help kind of
definitely
transparently show that. But I guess, once you've chosen to use us, how did you find the service from there? What happened?
Yeah, so everything happened very quickly and very efficiently. It was Rob and Charles that I'd sort of had most of the dealings with. It was mostly Rob, and then Charles kind of towards the end of the sale. But they got a local photographer to come in to do the photos. The photos look great. They liaised directly with my tenant, because the property was tenanted at the time. So that was great. And it literally, I didn't have to do anything, because my tenant obviously managed letting the photographers and stuff in, and they just kept me updated with how everything went. So I think, within like 2 weeks we'd had photos taken, and then it was live basically. And then I think we started getting viewing requests in within like 2 weeks of it being up. So So it was really quick, really seamless, and like really well communicated throughout.
Oh, lovely. Were there any aspects of the service you particularly liked, or people you dealt with you particularly liked? How did you find things?
Definitely. So, Rob Love and Charles Lowe. Is it Charles Lowe? Yeah, Lowe.
Charles, yeah.
Yeah, Charles.
I
Yeah,
think Gail, yeah.
Gail. That's it, Gail. Charles Gale. So they were sort of my two point of contact. So I mostly dealt with Rob. He kind of like let me know when there were viewings, and let me know when people are interested, and he managed sort of like the first half of the sale when we found our buyers, and he was great. I mean, like, and same with Charles as well. I mean, they both took time like out of their weekends when they clearly weren't meant to be working to keep me updated with things as like buyers and viewers came back with feedback. And and they were both like, I really felt like they both genuinely wanted like the best outcome for me, which was really nice. Like, it didn't, sometimes with like estate agents, you kind of are like, I don't necessarily trust you like wholeheartedly. Like, don't feel like you always have my best interest at heart. But Rob and Charles was so genuine and just down to earth, and just like, we're genuinely really, really happy when we got an offer, and we're genuinely really happy when we completed. And it was just, I felt weird that like I hadn't met them, because I was like, I feel like I've been in so much contact with you, but like it was just I felt like I had a really good working relationship with both of them.
Oh, lovely. And did you mention earlier your mum's an estate agent?
Yes. So my mum worked for Savills for about 5 years.
So how did she find this? How did she?
So she was really like, oh, I'm not sure. Like, I don't really, I mean, she knew that I'd be able to sell the house, like I knew that I'd be able to manage a viewing fine, but she was really sort of skeptical about like whether this sort of like like estate agent doing the viewings and like how the whole thing would work, because it was just something that she hasn't ever experienced before. But she was also really pleasantly surprised at how amazing everything went.
Brilliant. And I guess looking back, kind of, is there any advice you'd give yourself at the beginning, having gone through the whole process?
Oh, I would have just gone with British Home Sellers like straight away, to be honest. Like, I wish I'd done more research into the various options, because I think when we bought the house in 2021, it was very much obviously like a post-COVID time. So things in sort of like the house selling and buying industry were a little bit different anyway, because, you had social distance and stuff like that. But I never thought, while so many businesses kind of moved online, that kind of thing would move online either. So I never really thought to research sort of like other like non-traditional routes, basically. So I wish I'd done that more and had a look at like all of the options out there, because I think certainly for us, and certainly for sort of my generation of buyers, and certainly the people that we sold to, they actually find it, I don't know, a little bit less intimidating and a bit more authentic, I guess, when you're being shown around by the person that actually owns the house and that has lived there. And I think that really worked in our favour as sellers. So, I think if I could give myself advice, it would be go back and look at all of the options that are out there in terms of, how to sell your house, and then kind of go from there. Because, I just don't think that the normal traditional estate agent route is always the best option for everyone. And I don't think it's always that necessary either.
No, absolutely. It's nice to have choices, isn't it? And different alternatives. Absolutely. And I guess, for someone who's thinking of using us and on the fence, what could you say to help them come to a decision on what's right for them?
Definitely. I would say just try it. I think when you're selling a house, like, it's very much a person dependent thing. And obviously you guys, you do have the in-person, like, estate agent, like, you guys can facilitate viewings, can't you, if it's needed. So I think pick the option that you feel like is going to be best for you as a person and you as a seller. But also for, if you've got like a unique house that isn't, like a standard, house on an estate, or you feel like it actually is really suited to a specific type of buyer, then the like British home sellers are great for that, because you can manage that sort of side of things, like, and you can manage a lot of the sale yourself, and you can manage, you know, the viewings and stuff. So I'd say try it. And because you offer, you know, the three different, you know, you can buy the house outright, or you can do the viewings, or the seller can do the viewings. You can always change. Like, if you decide to do the viewings yourself and then you realize actually maybe that's not going to be feasible for you with your work schedule and stuff like that, then you've got the option to kind of move, you know, over to the different option. And if it's really not selling, then, you know, you've got the option just to sell it to you guys directly. So I would say, like, go for it. Don't, if you have any sort of reservations, you know, like, it doesn't cost you anything to try. And it's very much like a low risk thing. And, you know, like, the worst thing that's going to happen is that you don't sell your house, and the best thing that's going to happen is you sell your house.
Absolutely. Oh, honestly, thank you so much for everything you shared. And because I think the team are, of course, going to really enjoy watching this, which is great. And like I said at the beginning, it does make a big difference to sort of see that closed loop sort of feedback from customers. Any kind of final comments you want to share, or anything that you've not mentioned that you'd like to mention?
Yes, absolutely. So our house sale was a particularly important one, because it was actually a property that I owned with my ex-partner. So it was quite imperative that we got rid of the house, essentially, so that we could have that sort of closure from each other. So there was a lot hanging on it. And obviously, you know, like, it was, our mortgage had expired. So it was costing us a lot of money. So, like, time was very much of the essence. And it was such a stress hanging over, like, both me and my ex-partner, that it was just like, it just meant so much to kind of have it closed, and to also be able to give the property to such a lovely, like, first time buyer couple who, you know, were where we were at, obviously, several years ago. And it was I felt like a really nice way of giving back. And the whole experience that we had with British home sellers was, and with Charles and Rob, was just like, so it was such a comfort. Like, I felt like I panicked less, because I knew that they were doing everything that they could do within their power to get the property sold. So it made what was actually a very stressful experience really, really positive. And I just can't thank them enough for all of their hard work. And honestly, my life is so much better without having that house. But, like, it was the fact that it was dealt with so professionally and kindly, and that, I could just really tell that they were so invested and willing to do, like, go above and beyond to get the end result for us. It just was it just made the whole experience, like, 100 times better.
Thank you. I'm honestly, it's so lovely to hear that you've had such a great experience.
Yeah.
It's I know Rob and Charles. Yeah, they'll be very happy to hear your feedback.
Yeah.
So no, thank you so much. And again, people thinking of using us, what better than to hear what an actual customer thinks. So no, Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome anytime.